terrific applause. Man, how do I get this when I walk into the building from now on?
Work harder, Pierre.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. Yeah, she's not wrong there. Welcome back, everybody. As the temperatures go down, boo, we tend to stay inside more.
It's true. And odds are you may be looking for a new book to read. My mom and I have 3 great books to try. It's time for our latest book club.
All right, Mom, book club time, and this time we have 3 books, so let's get going. What do you have?
I have Remarkably Bright Creatures. It's a debut novel by Shelby Van Pelt. It's absolutely fabulous. I watched a Netflix documentary called My Octopus Teacher several months ago, and I was very fascinated by what are actually, quote unquote, remarkably bright creatures, the octopus. This book is about Tova, whose husband has recently died from cancer. She's reserved, she's solitary, she's very private. She did end up with a job that she goes to in the evenings to clean the aquarium, and it suits her very well because it gives her time to mourn the loss of her husband and the loss of her son, Eric. Now, Eric mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago while he was on a boat in the Puget Sound, and she's never figured out what happened to him. People in town have always whispered that he committed suicide, and she is absolutely sure that didn't happen. Now, at this job, Tova develops this bizarre friendship with Marcellus, who's a giant Pacific octopus that resides at the aquarium. And Marcellus has a story to tell Tova. He knows what happened to her son, Eric, and he just has to figure out a way to let her know what happened to Eric. If you liked A Man Called Ove, or one of my favorite books of all time, The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery, you will love this book. I loved it.
It sounds good. I love
it is very good.
Human relationship books. My book is really popular. I'm sure you've heard of it, so I almost didn't recommend it, but I had to because it's amazing, just in case you hadn't. It's called The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's going to be made into a show or a movie pretty soon here. If you have not heard of it, it goes to this old Hollywood siren. Her name is Evelyn Hugo, and she's had 7 husbands, obviously. It is now the end of her life, or she's in her 70s, and we don't really know what's happening, but she's old enough that she's decided that for the first time ever, she actually wants to write her story. So we go between her and the woman who's writing it. The woman who's writing it is a nobody. She's like, I don't understand how you found me, why you want me to write your big expose when I'm just this measly writer at this newspaper. Well, there's a reason. You find that out very, 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 very far into the book. But the part that I love about it is that it goes through these decades of Evelyn's life, of old Hollywood glamour. It's fabulous storytelling. It's a love story at the end of the day, even though she's had 7 husbands. Which of them was her real love, her true love? How did she become who she was in the time frame that she was? It's a really beautiful book. There's a reason people are obsessed with it. So I read it very, very quickly. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a show or a movie. I can't remember which one, but it's going to be. Okay. So we have a 3rd book. We're doing something new. Mom and I have read a lot of books that have been really popular over the decades, so we haven't recommended them. But we thought, why not? Things are really hard to find. Check it out at the library. Coming up on its 20th year anniversary is The Red Tent. We love that book, right, Mom?
Absolutely. It's a retelling of the story of Dinah, who's the only daughter of Jacob, who, of course, remember Jacob in the Bible is one of the 12 sons who become the 12 tribes of Israel, et cetera, et cetera. And as we all know, if you know anything about the Bible, women are just barely spoken of. She's only highlighted in the Bible because she was raped by some dude that, was important. But long story short, we get to hear her story through her voice, and we found out what it's like in her telling anyway, to be a woman in ancient times. And it's just absolutely incredible. I don't think it translated very well. It also became a series. I think on Fox or someone did a series on it. And I didn't love the show, but the book is incredible. The Red Tent by Anita Damon. What did you think, Kendall?
Oh yeah, no, it's just one of my favorite books that I've ever read. So it's 20th year anniversary. Might as well give it a whirl, right?
That's right. Go ahead and get that book.
Go get it, people.
Go get it.
Yeah, we love it. It's one of our favorites. You have a couple of recommendations. I was talking to you, like, Hey, I would like your perspective because you read, you know.
I do. Every time I'm in the airport.
I don't mean he knows how to read.
I know how to read.
Some people don't like reading.
There's a whole teleprompter here in front. I've been able to read that so far in the show, so that's been good.
Okay.
Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, I thought was really good. I definitely was not the target audience for that book, but I loved it nonetheless.
You said was it a mystery? No, it
No,
was a romance?
it's more of like a, yeah, it's more of a romance kind of a thing, but the end, I would say, it wasn't really earned. I didn't feel like it was earned, but you know, I'll let you read it.
You'd still recommend it.
I still would recommend it, yeah.
Okay.
Blind Tiger is the other one that's in the middle of, Sandra Brown. Starts a little slow, set in Prohibition Day. Prohibition actually has a lot to do with this story so far.
Cool.
Starting to ramp up though. I'm halfway through. Probably going to be done with it by December.
Blind Tiger?
That's it.
I love it. Yeah, we love
Blind
historical
Tiger.
fiction, so
Yes.
we're all about it.
I think that would be, with the way it's going, it's going to be a recommendation, I think, maybe for your book club in a couple months.
Look at Pierre joining the book club.
I'm growing up and everything. Look at me now, Mom.
World's shortest segment. When we come back, everybody, stick around.
Well done.